Welcome everyone. For the best viewing experience for today's show, please do watch this in a darkened room. We will be starting in a few seconds. Hi everyone. Welcome and thank you for joining us today. My name is Malavika Jaisimha and I'm one of the co-founding members of Cloud Playhouse. Divya, Hassan, Rita and I started this group just over 2 months ago in our efforts to stay close to theatre in these virtual times. What started as an impromptu call has now grown into a collaborative venue where we get to interact with so many performance arts enthusiasts such as yourselves. We're ably supported by Anirudh, Sunanda, Anju and Karthik. At Cloud Playhouse, we try to showcase one experimental art form each month which is different from our play readings. Our first experimental was a poetry session, the second was a stand-up comedy show. For this month of June, I wanted to bring in something in the space of classical dance, being a dancer myself, and yet something that most people have never seen before. As I was brainstorming ideas and researching, I remembered my mother telling me about this amazing place that she'd visited in Bangalore called Bimba The Art Hut and the beautiful cultural programs they offer. I looked them up and discovered this fascinating video of a unique art form called Nritya or dancing hands. I was just so taken in by this beautiful art form that I thought this must be shared with all our viewers. That's what our platform is all about, and it was such a perfect fit for our platform. There was no question that I had found my June, and perhaps even more. To my delight, it turned out that the artist's sister-in-law is our amazing Sindhu Singh, who all of us at Cloud Playhouse have worked with in various plays. We were quickly connected to the artist, and thus began our journey. Divya, who's one of the co-founders of Cloud Playhouse, was honored to be able to visit the ashram in Bangalore, India, and talk to the artists about this beautiful art form. And what resulted was our first documentary, which we're so delighted to be sharing with you today. Do stay on for a live discussion with the artists after the performance. And now, presenting Nritya.
Namaste. Nritya, dancing hands. In this debut video art format, we celebrate Kara, hands, and their dance in classical movement and mudras, that is gestures. The hands sing, walk, talk, and dance in fluid space to exalt the glory of the Mother, Goddess Amba Kamakshi. The Sanskrit verses of Adi Shankaracharya from the Sri Kamakshi Stotram have become the source of words to visualize and create her form. My humble pranams to all who are viewing this first of its kind sharing of Nritya. It has 2 parts to its presentation. In the first part, we share the word-by-word meaning of the stotram, the verse. The second part is the Nritya, the dance of the hands, a bridge to divinity, to Mother Goddess herself, through mudras, hands that move in universal space. Nritya, dancing hands. Kanta, the stotram. Kanta, loved, ever youthful, dear Mother Goddess. Kama Dudha, bestower of nourishing milk of desire. Karindra Gamana, majestic gait of an elephant, you are, O Mother. Kamari, Shiva. It is an epithet to Shiva, who destroys the god of love, who wields the flower arrows and bow. Vamankaga, that Kamari's consort, who dwells as his entire left half body. Kalyani, the auspicious, life-giving water pond you are. Kalita Avataram, you who assume such a glorious form on descent to earth. Subhaga, beautiful, beyond words are you. Kasturika Charchita, you who are anointed with fragrant unguents like turmeric, kumkumam, sandal, etc. Kampa Tira, Kampa, the river, Tira, on the banks of the river. Rasala Mula Nilaya, you reside in the Mula, the root of the mango tree. Karunya, the compassionate-eyed one. Kallolini, Kalyanani, the one who dances the revelry and ecstasy of creation. Karotu me, you are the one who bestows on me. Bhagavati, O Mother, O Goddess. Kanchi Puri Devata, the deity who resides in Kanchipuri. Kamakshi, O Amba, O Mother, Kamakshi. सुभग 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 कस्तूरिका चर्चिता सुभग कस्तूरिका चर्चिता कंपा कंपाति 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 रसाल मूल नीलया कंपाति रसाल मूल नीलया कारुण्य कल्लोलिनी कल्याणानि कल्लोलिनी कल्याणानि कल्लोलिनी कल्याणानि कल्लोलिनी कल्याणानि कल्लोलिनी करो भगवती कांचीपुरी देवता भगवती कांचीपुरी देवता भगवती 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 कांचीपुरी देवता कांचीपुरी देवता कांचीपुरी देवता कामाक्षी
That was such a beautiful experience. Thank you, Deepika ji, and the team for putting this together. I'd like to now call upon Divya to talk to us a little bit about her visit to the ashram and her discussions with the artists about the philosophy behind Karan Nritya. Divya, take it away.
Hello everyone. My name is Divya Balu and I'd like to present to you a wonderful conversation I had with the artists of Karan Nritya. I had the privilege to visit Deepak ji and Deepika ji at their beautiful and serene ashram called Bimba in the Basavanagudi neighborhood of Bangalore recently. In this segment, we present to you a snippet of my visit where Deepika ji discusses how she conceptualized the art form, what influences she drew from, and about the goddess Kamakshi herself, all while sitting in front of a beautiful mango tree that adorned the ashram's courtyard. I invite you to a conversation and hope you're left with an increased appreciation and awareness of Karan Nritya. Please do stay back after this recording for a chat with the artists themselves as they've graciously agreed to join us during this presentation. Thank you so much, Deepika ji and Deepak ji, for welcoming us into your space.
Thank you so much.
What a wonderful experience. My family and I are absolutely loving the space.
Thank you so much.
And it's already been such a great journey for us. We learned about your wonderful art form, Karan Nritya, and we're here to kind of learn from you about how you kind of conceptualize the art form. So could you tell us a little bit about Karan Nritya and how you conceptualized it?
Okay. Karan Nritya is, I mean, not really, it's one can say a branch of the dance format that we say is Bharatanatyam. And when we talk about dance, especially the classical dance, somehow the hands are very, very important and very integral to express. Now, the classical arts enable us to express subtle emotions, leading us to experience the subtleness in the formation of the cosmos. So classicism is there to enable us to achieve this, whether we call it Western classical or Indian classical or any classical art form. It's supposed to do this to us, take us to a subtle space and physically, and from that physical subtle space one is able to go and experience the subtler vibrations, subtler energies, colors, formations. So in this context, these hands that we use when we are expressing emotions in dance, they're very special, they're very defined, they're very codified. One has only a particular way a movement has to happen. Only then it completes maybe an alphabet or it completes a sentence. And so the mudras themselves reveal the sentence. It's a language. So the hands behave and become the language. And this aspect is so beautifully planned by our rishis, because the art forms come from ancient times. And they deliberately planned to enable mankind to experience these subtle spaces. So mudras, the hands, along with the footwork, along with the body gestures, enables the artist who is into it, enables the artist to take the viewers along to experience that. So I think a very beautifully planned ritual, if I can say, is dance. So with this, the hands become special, even more special, because of the, the hands are so special to mankind. So we are so blessed to get this faculty, which enables us to celebrate touch. So when we touch something, if we are able to transmit our internal vibration of love. Because the divine says only as human beings can you touch anything with love. Everything else, all the entire Prakriti is, it does not have an ability to touch you. It is living itself as love. But here you can transmit, you can transport, you can transmit. So with these you can express. And so Kara becomes so special that you can sing the glory of the divine cosmic manifestation. And that is she, that is Mother. Mother alone, the entire cosmos. It's her play, it's her creation. Right from the sun, the moon, to the stars, to the galaxies, everything is her. Isn't it?
Absolutely.
I mean, tell me a place where she's not. I think she's there everywhere.
Is that why you chose Kamakshi Stotra?
Yes. Now Kamakshi Stotra became very interesting because they say that when the nothingness, it stirred. It was just nothingness, and it stirs. It stirs with a desire. And that desire expels itself in form of Mother, and then the entire creation manifests. So, even to that nothingness, the desire is a component. The only component which propels that nothingness to express. And that aspect of the desire, that aspect of desire with nothingness, that is Kamakshi. That is where she is. And she's a very special position. She's so close to the nothingness formation. So when the nothingness is propelling out, it's Kamakshi, and then you can see the entire happening. So the reverse is also, she's the ultimate. Because reverse, from here, we are part of our creation. We start going backwards to experience and wanting to know nothingness. So we have to traverse all these different realms and happenings and formations and come to her. Because she's the only one who knows the desire of nothingness. Because even inside us, it's a desire which propels us to do things, right? Before anything happens, a desire springs. I want to, say, cook today. It's a desire. And then from there one starts saying, okay, what shall I cook? Now then the senses come into play. All the senses, all the juices flow. Okay, I want a cake today. No, I want a rasam today. So all the planning here, already you experienced it. Now you are going to manifest it only to satisfy that experience. You already experienced it. And so this aspect of the silent desire is Kamakshi.
So Deepika ji, tell us a little bit about the words Kara and Nritya and what that signifies.
Kara, Sanskrit means hands. So the dance of the hands, the dancing hands. Nritya is dance. So dance, why? Because the component, the moment one says dance or Nritya, there's something inside that just feels very liberated, high, joyous. Even if you're not dancing, you still will feel all that, isn't it? So I think that is why when I used my hands to celebrate Kamakshi, and so I call it Kara Nritya, because it's a joyous celebration of this silent, secretive mother. who exists right from the moment soul decides to take form in the womb because it desires to be born. Right till then to yugas and yugas, the soul goes through transformations. And so this particular stotra that I have taken in Kamakshi's Karan Nritya is Adi Shankara's this series of shlokas. The stotram is quite long. But this one is the seventh paragraph, the last paragraph. And it starts with the word Kanta. The Kanta it's like, it's a beautiful word. It says it is full of gentleness, femininity, feminine, mother, caring, shy. All these things can come together in one cooking to give us the word Kanta. It's so full of movement and so silent, not really pushing, not loud. And Kama Dudha, the word is amazing because Kama is, one can say, love, desire. Dudha is the flowing of the nourishing milk. So at one point one can ask, how come Kama Dudha? How can the desire be a nourishing component? Because desire is always actually drawing you. It's extracting work from you. You run after it. So how can it be nourishing? How can it be so? But this one particular desire where she stands, right at the doorway of nothingness, that is where she is. There she is going to give you that desire which nourishes you, because now you have to just cross over the threshold and be there.
It's interesting when you use nothingness and desire together because it almost feels like opposites.
Yes, isn't it? It's so amazing because if you visualize, there is nothingness, but that nothingness stirs, right? Mm-hmm. And it says, what is this? I want to see myself. Just that one desire of nothingness. Can you imagine the power of that nothingness desire? That component, that I wish to see myself. And that is what that point.
And is that what you chose Deepika ji to portray?
Yes. Yeah. And the whole shloka is very beautiful. Karindra Gamana, she has the gait of like the elephant. That Gambhirya. One elephant reminds us of so many things. One of course, the mighty size. Mm-hmm. Which means that one's intellect should become of that size. And there's so many other things about the elephant. It's the only creature that survives on tree leaves and flowers and grass. So huge. How can such a huge animal live on vegetation? Which means simple living. So the whole digestive tract is very simple. No complexity. And the elephant is also compared and talked about as the most intelligent creature. Mm-hmm. It can remember its ancestry. Okay. So here that point is very important. Because she says, oh my dear child, try and remember your ancestry. That is, that you've come from nothingness. So go back to that point. And she says, I'm standing there at that point to take you in. Okay. Absolutely lovely. Amazing.
Lovely. It's so great to meet all of you. Deepika. What an absolute honor. Thank you so much for sharing the space with us and the story. We're excited to have some of our colleagues and friends the opportunity to see this art form as well and to meet you as well.
Sure. I'm very happy that you've come and you're able to do this. Because she is one thing who has inspired and done, changed my perception. I would want everybody to get it. That is the only intention.
Absolutely. No, I'm thrilled. And thank you so
Thank you
much.
so much. Thank you. Namaste.
Thank you once again, Deepika ji, for those fascinating insights into Karan Nritya. I'd now like to extend a warm welcome to Deepika ji and Deepak ji to join us for our Q&A segment. So if I can request you to please turn on your video and your mics for this segment. And I'd also like to request Hassan, who is our moderator for this evening, to join us as well. And Divya, if you are there, Rita as well, please do join us.
Namaste.
So Deepak ji, Deepika ji, thank you so much for joining us today on our Q&A segment. It's just been such a treat to watch this video, to listen to your interview, and also to just be in your space, although we're doing it through the virtual screen. It's been a real pleasure. So I'd like to kick off the Q&A session with just a few house rules for our attendees who are on the call. If you have a question, please do raise your hand from the participants panel, or you can even type your question on chat and we'll call upon you. And when we do call upon you, our request is that if you can unmute your mics, and it would be even better if we could see your faces. So do turn on your cameras as well if you can. And then you can ask your question. So I'd like to kick it off with the first question, Deepika ji. Can you tell us a little bit about the music and the sounds that you've used for this piece, and also where you recorded it?
Yes. Thank you so much. Thank you for being there, all of you. And thank you for this great opportunity to share the making of Karan Nritya and the inspiration as you like to um, experience the inspiration. So yeah, when we got to making this beautiful Karan Nritya, the music was the first part which had to be ready. Though about a year earlier, I had actually composed the music because it was part of a dance drama on Kamakshi. And that happened sometime in January. And then after that, till October last year, nothing really. But after Navratri, there was a very strong, what do I say, a calling or something from within, which said that I must pick up these verses, from Adi Shankara's Stotram, which starts with Kanta Kamadudha, which is actually the last part of the Stotram. And so something made me want to share that because the hands as a language can celebrate a formation in this unique expression. So that was very strong inside, and I took that up. So once that was planned, I had to record it because there was no other way we could do it. But what you hear as instruments in the recording, in the presentation, actually, there are some of them are instruments which we all know, like the bell, the bugle, the conch, the shalange, the cymbals. But there are some which was just created to extract the sound, because Kamakshi, if one feels to know this space where she is at the beyond the threshold, and it's dark, there's only darkness. Actually, it's the sound which will enable us to move
in that space of nothingness. So somehow it kept coming that it has to be sounds. So I procured many of those things which can bring sound to different kinds of sounds. Then, of course, there were sounds which were created to enhance the word itself, like uh, Kama Dudha, where we are uh, even pouring water from one vessel to another to capture the sound of water falling. Then we created the sound of for Kampatira, the river, the river gushing, the water gushing, with using paper, crushing paper. And they were all very, very interesting and very beautiful because after it was recorded, when one heard it, it was so real. And then we also did for the Rasala Mula Nilaya to celebrate the mango tree.
Yeah.
So told them all, please blow into the mic. And one person, I asked him to whistle because it can feel as a breeze passing through the leaves in the forest. And so all these things, and we also used a very beautiful wind instrument called for Bhagavati to enhance the presence of her echoing presence, a reverberating presence, as the didgeridoo and the bell. And we did the entire recording in our kaksha, the Kamakshi kaksha, where actually she sits as a form. She's seated there as as a vigraha. So it's a very, very quaint, small form room, if I can call it. And we did the entire recording in that room. And well, all these youngsters around who helped me make the film also. So I said, we first practice. So we did some 5-6 days of practice. And we took it through one shot. The final shot was just one run through. There was no stopping. There was no cutting, editing, nothing. I said it has to be one through run of the music. And it happened very beautifully. And it just feels like a studio recording.
Yes, absolutely. Even better, you can't even tell. It's brilliant. It's done so beautifully.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
what is the role of karma in this context? Can you tell us a little bit? Can you explain a little bit about that? We've spoken
Yeah.
about it before, but I just want the audience also to.
Yes. Yes. That is really lovely. Yeah. Karma. See, the word karma is both common to the two forms that we celebrate as desire component. One is Kama, the god of love, and the Cupid, and the other is Kamakshi. Both of them have the same word karma. And that part is so amazing because karma is a good thing to happen because that is what brings the soul to earth. The desire to live on earth, the desire to take form. That is what brings us to earth. And that is karma. And Kamakshi, Kama Akshi. The words are like that. Kama Akshi, which means Kama, the supreme desire, with those eyes which actually actually are flowing with that desire. They are tearing with that desire. They are longing with that desire. And there is nothing else which the eyes wants except to see that nothingness or experience that nothingness. So this word is very, very beautiful. And Kama, the god of love, is the one who is created for this purpose because he is the one who pulls us to earth. He gives us that mind which starts desiring, which starts functioning, enabling us to live and do our one after the other achievements. But at the same time, the same Kama is actually destroyed by Shiva. How can these two things happen? I mean, why does Shiva destroy Kama? And this is actually it is all about the journey, the soul journey, because the soul comes to earth to experience earth and to live its values and its dharma, earth dharma. And then when it is exhausted all that, then Shiva says, okay, now we come to nothingness. Now we come to nothingness. And so there, you just drop all the desires. And there she comes in as Kamakshi. And she takes the same component, the same desired thing which propels us, the same, what do I say, raw material. She takes that and she says, now we can move and get into nothingness. I will help you cross the threshold. So this is very, very beautiful. It's like, and can you even imagine both the forms, Kamakshi and Kama? Both of them wield a sugarcane bow. The sugarcane bow is held in the left hand, and they both wield 5 flower arrows. It's just that the flowers are different, but both of them have the 5 flower arrows. And both of them, interestingly, use one common flower. That is the lotus. Now, Kama uses the blue lotus. It's called Nilotpala. And Kamakshi uses the pink lotus or more white lotus. That is the only difference in visual appearance of the lotus, but a sea of difference in the essence of what blue lotus says, and it has its effects, and what the other pink lotus, the white lotus, and its effect on the soul condition. So it's almost like Kama takes us through uh, mm, all the flowers, and he comes to the space of this blue lotus where the soul says, okay, now I actually turn blue. I become like a blue baby. I'm done with everything about earth. I've experienced it. I've known it. Now I wish to move on. And from that point on, Kamakshi takes the soul who has matured into this space of everything, and takes the soul from there and reaches the soul to the threshold, into the nothingness, because she's actually standing inside the threshold. She's so close to nothingness.
So the desire of nothingness, beautiful.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. So I see a lot of comments that are, pouring in from the audience.
Yes.
We'd love to hear from them as well.
Yes.
So if, I think Malini, Anju and Malini, I see some comments from you. So if you can please unmute your mics and videos, we'd love to see you. We'd love to hear you. Maybe Anju, if you can go first. I see your comment first. So.
So, can you hear me fine?
Yes, we can. Thanks for.
So, I went from a darkened room to a lit room. And I can see that, Deepika, you also went from a darkened space to a lit space. Thank you so much. I really, really enjoyed it. I have never seen anything like this before, I'll be honest. I'm not a dancer like Malvika, but I do like to watch, I go support all my friends' daughters, Arangetrams, and there's really nothing to not liking it. It's so expressive. I mean, it's so easy to understand, but I think your art form is very, very unique in that it's not as easy to show it on stage as it is to show it in your setting. It is so unique how you manage both light and dark, just words and the sounds to support it. It was just breathtaking. So thank you for introducing us to this.
Thank you.
and couple of questions. One is, since I'm not a dancer, I'm not going to ask you the dance questions. One is, how do you use your team? So I'm sure there's a whole team supporting you, right? To make the noises. Do you do it like, do you do it live and have someone bring all those elements together? Or do you only do it in recordings? And what do you do when you have many subjects? As in, this time it was just Lord Kamakshi and you explaining her, but what if you had multiple subjects? How do you incorporate that?
Wonderful. And yeah, I think it's a small team, and they're all youngsters, they're students, and they've been coming to Bimba for a long time. It's been about 1.5 years or so, or 2 years that they have been walking in and out. And they are from the journalism college and studying. So I said, why don't we do something together? Because they keep saying that we want to learn something with you. So I said, the best way to learn is to do something together, and then we can achieve both. And intensity and the seriousness when we do something like this, it's it's so amazing how uh, they were into it, they were with it. So the recording of the music, there's so many instruments I had pulled out. I had just spaced it. We all sat, we worked it out, we practiced it, and then it was just one take. Finally, I said we will just take one take. If we go wrong in it, we sing it or do the whole thing.
Mhm.
And I think that we didn't have to do too many of that. It was just once that there was some disturbance, and the second time, after so many rehearsals, it was a good take. But this kind of a thing, as you say, whenever we try to do this on stage, like after that, we did share the concept of Karanatya on a physical stage here at Bimba The Art Ashrama. There also, I tried to have the same setting. So all of us sat and some instruments here and there, and to create those sounds. I think it would always be nice to be more live and dynamic. So, too much of planning is not what I feel enables the freedom to happen. And so the other elements, when you want to experience the sudden surprise elements from cosmos, then that happens when there is space for a little, yeah, freedom there. Yeah, that is how it happened. Yeah.
As a viewer, if I could just add to the response, I was watching the happening of the music and its evolution to what it manifested finally is such a elaborate, very beautifully paced work, which is actually attuned to the idea that we will dance to it. So the thought is we will dance to it, and then we will dance to natural sounds. And so actually she picked up instruments which were true to the sound of the word that is composed by Adi Shankaracharya. So there's a very different approach to picking up words on a page, which is a shloka, kanta, kama, duda, and then bringing it alive through sounds and music to enhance
Mhm.
the celebration of what the original viewer, experiencer, master of Kamakshi wanted to share and express with the world. So the music is true to that. And in the process of making, I can only add as a viewer that it is a solo composition. The artist herself sang. The artist, while singing, was cueing to each one of them the conducting of what instrument should play at what time. So it's a very spontaneous, dynamic, unplayed composition. And it was done in one stretch as an intent after a few practices. And Deepika even called in her mother because Amma is such a integral part of transmission of music to her life that she said, I want you to do one part for me. Please come for the 6-7 kilometers in November. And Amma came and just played the conch in Karindra Gamana. And for that one piece, at that time, I was sitting outside the room and Deepika said, Amma, now. And nobody knew what was happening.
Wow.
Amazing.
What a
It just
lovely.
felt I was like Beethoven or somebody conducting.
It's
So
all
the
in the
non
family. It's a
music
family
instrument. Yes.
contribution. I just want to say I love your setting. I love the place. I was seeing Divya's interview. It was so beautiful, so serene. And in Baswangudi, I'm from Baswangudi, by the way.
Oh, that's lovely.
Welcome
My
back.
parents live in NR colony, so I'm like, I don't see a spot like that. It's so quiet without traffic noise.
Yeah, yeah, very, very special. So this time you come, please visit us.
I will. I'll bring my mom and dad too. They will
Yeah.
love it. Thank you so much.
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much, Anju. So I think we had Malini who had a question and some thoughts to share. So Malini, if you can unmute your mic and ask the question. Hi, Malini.
Hi. Lovely, lovely evening here. We are in California, and we see that distance does not matter in coming into unity in this beautiful presence of the divinity of love, right?
Yeah.
And wherever we are connected. And I'm so grateful that Malavika invited me today for this presentation. And mudras are such an amazing part of like moving energies. It can be done like by anybody, just watching your videos, moving their fingers into hand gestures and feeling that that cleansing, that oneness, the transformational energies, right? It was just an amazing experience. And I have a classical dance background as well, grew up in Chennai. And it's very interesting that in the last, with all this COVID, I said, why don't I just go back to just dancing on my own? So I just put up some music, some YouTube videos, started dancing, doing my Bharatanatyam, getting back to my grassroots. And this morning, I was woken up with a dream, like I was in my dance class where I grew up. And then a message comes, oh, be prepared for 7 p.m. And I'm like, okay, I don't know what that is. Let's just go through the day. And an hour before the show, Malavika texts me saying, do you want to join us? It's at 7 p.m. And I'm like, so it's just like we are all so connected. We are all just that
Yes.
oneness, and we're all each a mudra, each a finger of Kamakshi, right? Each an arm of her, whatever the expression. I'm just getting goosebumps as I just that beautiful being. So thank you so much.
Thank
I hope
you.
this art reaches one and all. It's a beautiful expression. It's simple. Bharatanatyam by itself can be very grand with its costumes and the whole setup, but this was just so beautiful, and its simplistic would reach, I hope, millions and millions of people. So appreciative of connecting with you guys, and thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
That was beautiful. Thank you so much. It was lovely. So I think we have one more comment from Top Form Academy. Don't know if you're still on. Top Form Academy. Yes.
Coming up. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Right. Hello. I'm from Bangalore as well. It's really nice to feel connected. It's been a while since I was there. But is Bimba the same one that was in Jayanagar 5th block, 5th main or something like that? Were you there before?
Yes. Before we moved here finally, because we had to stop there for a little while to get this place ready. So some years we were there.
And that
then,
was the yellow.
Yes, had a
Oh,
yellow wall. Oh my
it was
God.
walking distance from you.
Oh.
Yeah, so no, it's really nice to have that connection as well. I'm not, I'm definitely not very well versed in dance, But I was wondering, it was really illuminating today to sort of have you, to have the opportunity to have somebody like you explain things to us. So my question was about mudras, and like the previous person also said, I was actually going through it when watching, and it was interesting to see that it's not all that easy. You obviously have to practice even to coordinate your left and right and everything. So I mean, kudos, it's just brilliant. Is there any connection between mudras, the mudras that we do in dance and the mudras that is there in yoga? And sorry, I'm not Top Form Academy. My name is Meera. Just I forgot to mention. Sorry.
Yeah. The connection is definitely there. It's just the kind of connection may be a little different, because the mudras that we use in dance are through if I can say, the two different routes to attaining a space there, to attain. Basically, mudras are here to enable us um, to change the internal vibration, to bring it to a space of peace, a comfort. That's why the moment somebody even mentions dance, it's so exciting, because it is a combination of everything. It's a body, the footwork, the body movement, the mudras, and the facial expressions. So when mudras are talked about, just mudras, even, we say that if you're a little low, even if you just hold a mudra of the lotus right in front of your chest and feel it's blooming, and feel it inside, and practice this again and again, you'll be surprised to know how amazingly it calms the entire internal space. Because the fingertips carry electric energy, and they are able to navigate or align the internal space. So the work of the mudra is this, whether we use it as language in the dance path, or we call it the path of yoga, because there the mudras become even more subtler. They're more subtler in vibration. But in dance, it is to celebrate the navarasas also, because the 9 different emotions that we experience, fear, anger, jealousy, that is what we as human beings are. So it enables one to walk through these 9 different emotions with mudra. Now, when we combine it with mudras, the mudra does not allow you to absorb that energy, but you're just the viewer of all these 9 different emotions. You can view them with the safety net. The mudras become safety net, and they become expressive because they can communicate much deeper. So when we dance and we hold a particular mudra, it's very important that the mind is there in the space of the fingers, so that just the holding of the mudra can transmit that vibration, and the viewer gets the same message. No distortion, no any other disturbance in the channel of communication. So that's why they have been very deliberately used in dance, and so in yoga. But in dance, there is a movement which is like a beginning of a mudra movement, which comes and then which takes the form. So this whole process of movement to create that final point of the mudra enables the mind of both the dancer, the viewer, and everything around, the space around, to kind of get the same vibration.
It's amazing. So it's sort of very meditative when you're doing it, but your mudras change so quickly. So it's almost like the power of now, 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 now. So Wow. Yeah.
It's amazing. It's amazing. And so, actually, as a viewer, if anyone would want to sit with this, you would have watched this video a few times, and you will know that it is the mudras are, mm, you know, you will know the meaning. You will know the uh, so you will know the mudras like for um, kanta. So you will know this action. So the moment this action is known, you will have known it a couple of times. You rehearse with it, but later you can just listen to the sound and do the same mudra sitting by yourself. And if the route inside, if you have gone across the kilometers of distance that you want to reach Kamakshi, you will actually experience her.
Wow.
It's a stunning way to.
Wow. No, it really is amazing. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you for that. And thank you, Cloud Playhouse, for this opportunity. And thank you both.
Thank you.
Thank you.
For coming in. Thank you for your wonderful comments. I think Hassan had a couple of questions as well. So, Hassan, yeah, go ahead.
Yes, hi. Thank you so much, Deepika ji and Deepak ji. That was so amazing. Just echoing what Meera and Malini were saying, I think there was so much beauty in the performance and in your words. And I think the energy and the calmness, it's just really what we needed right now. So thank you for that. Thank you so much. I did want to ask, there were a few things that I noticed. So during the performance, there was the part where you were pouring the turmeric powder. So I was very curious to know the significance of that, and even the significance of the lotus in the water, if you would like to share with us.
Yeah. I think the turmeric is very, very interesting. It's what we call as the magic, if I can say, herb, because it does multiple functions. Physical turmeric. It's cleansing, and it clears pathways. It enables digestion for the physical body, and so also for the spiritual body. And so in temples and all these places, it's extensively used. And somehow the eyes, when they look at that turmeric, the senses, the sense organs, somehow imbibe this quality, It somehow reaches them. The cleansing reaches it, the nourishing, antiseptic, not attracting all bacteria and unwanted. And so it is the same thing that happens in the internal space also to the soul journey, that it removes, it wards off. And the most beautiful part of turmeric is its fragrance, a very exclusive fragrance. So the word which celebrates where I share turmeric being sprinkled is kasturi. Kasturi is the name, is actually means a particular fragrance which we call as musk. So kasturi is musk, coming from musk deer. So the deer is carrying that pouch of musk within itself. And it seems it's always tormented, saying that where I'm unable to identify from where this fragrance is coming. So it wanders and looks for that fragrance all over the forest. Then some one day when it is actually finished, this is very spiritual, but I will take that through. Some one day it discovers that that fragrance is coming from within its own self. It's nowhere outside. That is wandering and wandering to figure out where is the fragrance. So it is within the self. So this word kasturi celebrates that aspect. Now this kasturi happens inside the self also. It's the fragrance of the soul. When the soul is free of all of its karma, its doings and desires and attachments, and it's on the way, on the journey to knowing its own source, in that space, the soul emits this fragrance. And that is how, if you have had any experience, when we go to, when we sit by saints or evolved people, self-realized people, there's a fragrance that we can actually experience. And that fragrance is called the fragrance of the soul. And that is the story. And so for me, it was the only way to celebrate the fragrance. There was no other way I could, through the camera, say that this is fragrance, get to fragrance. So the fragrance of Kasturi is a combination. It's a unique fragrance. Some say it is more close to sandal, some say something else, but it's a combination. It's a unique fragrance. And turmeric is also one component of that fragrance. So that is how I used turmeric. I used also earth, mud. It's the fragrance of earth, which we actually get drawn to when we come down to live here. So it's a very, very powerful attraction we have towards earth. So can we even imagine that attraction? No? Sometimes. So even that earth is picked up, and I use it on the to celebrate that fragrance. The Ritik.
Wow, that was really powerful, and thank you for that.
Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah,
thank you for the question.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So I think just thank you everybody for all of your beautiful comments on chat. Does anybody have any other questions that you'd like to ask? Feel free to, raise your hand or, type it in chat and we'll call on you. We'll give it another minute, and if not, we can. Actually, I had one more question for you in the meantime, Deepika ji. Can you tell us a little bit about what is the significance of, the mango tree? Yeah,
that's so special, no?
Yes.
But, if you remember, at least this part of the geography of the earth, we use mango leaves as part of the toran.
Yes.
We use it in pujas. So the scriptures talk about the place where she resides, where you can actually find her very easily. They say that she resides at the root of the mango tree. She is in the Rasala Moola Nilaya. She is there. Now, this mango tree is celebrating formation of earth as one of the nourishing trees, one of the giant trees it is of earth, like the way neem is one, and you can say banyan and such trees. So mango is one such tree, and the mango leaves, the fragrance that it emits actually enables you to complete or experience desire. So that is how it is tried during our pujas, our weddings, so that the desire component, especially when it is even anywhere, especially the weddings, it's supposed to lift up the desires of the couple, enable them to fructify their the more innermost secretive desire to unite. Now, the same union that we talk about in marriage, it's the same union towards the divine. It's only the maybe the happening is more internal and this is more external, but it's the same component, it's the same experience. So even here, when one has to unite with the divine, it is this mango tree possessing unique vibrational qualities, which I think the saints have identified, the rishis have identified, saying, let us not get into much of it. So I give you the mango leaf, use it, and it will do this to you. Now, for us to know that, we'll have to go the other way route to experience what it actually can do to us. And the fruit of mango, the fruit is considered to be the king of fruits. So it is it is the only fruit, maybe one can say, is carrying a kind of a rasa, where you can extract the rasa. The rasa means essence. In it, you know, the grandeur part of mango is what I think is captured. And hence the goddess says, I stay here. And there are many saints who have attained their, uh, their moment under the mango tree, seated under the mango tree. So they take the vibration, and that is where the final movement seemed to have happened for many.
Very interesting. Thank you. That was really nice. And also, in the earlier session, you had mentioned about the sequence where you have the bee
Yeah,
touch the darkness.
yeah.
Can you
Mm.
talk about that as well?
Yes, surely. Actually, when we talk about this point where the fingers depict darkness and there's a red bee which comes.
Yes.
Now, Kamakshi, the goddess, is actually the dark goddess. She is called, she is Kamakshi. The dark is so important because before even the nothingness expands, it is still within the threshold of its own self, and that is where she is. The moment he expands, it's all light. It is all come into being. So the dark part is represented by that dark lotus. And that nascent desire, the desire to unite with nothingness, is that red bee. She's Bala. She's that little young Bala, is like compared to the rising sun who's just come up, and that rising sun is red, vermilion, crimson, that's the color. So the the right hand, which is in red, represents Bala in her formation of when the when the little girls have just come to understand that they can ask for something. I want this. I like this. That is the first expression of that Bala, of that innocent, uh, just springing uh, desire. So that is what we go back to when we are on the return journey. We just come back to that innocent, um, just born kind of a desire status, and that is Bala. So the right bee, it's a bee because there is no light there. If you have to touch the darkness inside, it is only sound. There is no light there. You can't see. So this represents the sound of the buzzing of the bee. And with that sound alone, you can enter and you touch her formation and you compel her to take form for you.
That's so amazing.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Cloud Playhouse. Very nice.
Thank you, Deepika ji. So I think we'll conclude the evening for today. Thank you all for coming in and just experiencing this beautiful piece of art with us. We hope you are going back with a different kind of appreciation and like maybe just a more enlightened view of life and what you saw. I'm sure you will be. So thank you for that. Deepika ji, if I could just request you to stay on, we'll.
Yeah. Thank you, Cloud Playhouse. Thank you, Deepika ji. Hope to meet you live. Okay. Bye.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye bye.